What's going on, everyone? My name is Tenebris and welcome back to another weapon comparison video. This is our 5th installment in weapons analysis, so if you haven't yet, check out my previous videos on the sidearms, battle rifles, SMGs, and shotties. In today's video, we'll be examining the LMGs in GZ. We'll be talking about the rounds per minute, testing the accuracy, talking about some interesting trivia, and then afterwards we'll be doing a few more interesting tests, like how these weapons stand in comparison to their battle rifle alternatives, field testing them, and comparing their relative reload speeds. It's gonna be a hefty video, peeps, so get comfy and let's jump right into things with the KVM-59. The KVM-59 is derived from the Kulspruta 58 or the KSP-58, the Swedish variant of the FN mag. After 1945, many countries were trying to produce their own machine guns based on the German MG42 design. In the early 1950s, a Belgian company called FN Herstal succeeded in developing a general-purpose machine gun called the MAG. Shortly after, the Swedish company Carl Gustaf designed their own rendition in the KSP-58A. It was chambered for 6.5 by 55. And shortly after came up with the B variant that was chambered for the 7.62. The B variant is what was used for the KVM in Generation 0. The KVM 59 and 89 in Generation 0 come with the same attachments, a mag extension, a compensator or silencer, and can support a red dot sight. Outside of that, there really isn't too much else that you can attach to the KVM 59 or 89. So, with the trivia out of the way, let's get into the RPM and the accuracy of the 59. The accuracy is going to be really hard to tell as there are so many bullets in the magazine that previous bullet holes will fade out far sooner than the mag has been emptied. So I'm going to have my work cut out for me in figuring out the score during this accuracy test. But I'll be sure to get you guys an accurate count on the accuracy. So, let's get started. So there are a bunch of very interesting findings here. The 59 has a massive recoil that sometimes can send an individual bullet or two way off course, which is what happened to score some of the 4, 3, and 2 points in the accuracy test. As well, you can fire off about 2 mags in a minute, which is pretty solid, and even though the reload speed can feel excruciating in the middle of an intense fight, it's really not as bad as I had expected. I was thinking it was more along the lines of 10 seconds to reload, but it's only about half of that. So with the 59's RPM and accuracy out of the way, let's talk about the 89. So the KVM 89 is called the Kulspruta 90 in real life. It was Sweden's take on the FN Mini-Me made by FN Herstal, essentially designed to work better with various other light arms that had been invented by Sweden, such as the AG5's real-life counterpart, the AK5. It's pretty difficult finding any other in-depth information on what separates the Kulspruta 90 from the Mini-Me, so instead of digressing into real-life lore, let's just jump right into testing this gun. So funnily enough, the 89 actually has a lower RPM than the 59, simply due to its smaller magazine size. Though the rate that the bullets are fired from the gun is faster by a hair than the 59, its relatively similar reload speed means that in the end you wind up just shy of 2.5 magazines in a minute, further bringing down the overall RPM of the 89. Now this gun does seem much more accurate than the 59, scoring triple the amount of the 59 with scores of 10. But in the end, the lower firepower and lower RPM means the 89 is seemingly the inferior weapon. So to close off the accuracy and RPM testing, I'll show the scorecard I use, so you can see behind the scenes on how I scored these and can see the primary points of the individual guns and where they scored at. The 59 was very heavy into the 7 ring, while the 89 was balanced primarily into the 8 and 9 rings. Meaning, if accuracy is what you prefer in the game, the 89 is the clear winner in that perspective. So now for the suppression test. So, as expected, in the end, the 89 winds up to be the much more quiet gun by an absolute long shot. Meaning that if you have a stealth-oriented build, the 89 might be the LMG option you didn't think you needed. Now, with the target testing finished up, let's get out into the field and see how these guns fare against their counterparts, and then against one another in combat. So first off, we have the KVM 59, and this thing is an absolute god slayer when it comes down to taking down tanks. It's very effective for taking off the tick pod, it's great when it comes to destroying components, it just rips right through armor, and due to having the very high magazine count of 250 bullets, this gun is going to be one of your most reliable options when it comes to fighting tanks. The 59 fared very well against hunters as well. It definitely chews through the Fennec's armor, and as long as you're able to aim for the components properly, you'll be able to take them down really easily. Now, the 59 actually fared a little bit worse than the 89 just due to that recoil, sending some of the bullets off in directions that I wasn't intending them to go in. But in the end, if you're able to lock down one of these hunters, the 59 will take them out very, very easily. Now lastly, for the harvester test here, the 59 serves very well for taking down harvesters. They're large, slow-moving targets, so in the end, any sort of accuracy issues don't come into play for this type of enemy. And the high DPS and crazy ammo count means that you'll just be able to take down any sort of harvester incredibly easily with these LMGs. But the 59 itself, having slightly higher damage, is a bit of a benefit when fighting harvesters, simply due to the fact that it can take down the ticks that it drops in a single bullet, and that will make for easier cleanup when fighting the harvester. Now for the 89, outside of this tank having a little bit of a conniption fit with this fence here, the 89 served to be very, very good for taking down the tank as well. Due to its high accuracy, as long as you can lock down the component you're aiming for, you're able to just kind of blast away on that individual component and do some serious damage to the tank. Outside of that though, it fared just a little bit worse than the 59 did because of the lower damage, so it would take more bullets to take down an individual component in comparison to the 59. So now for the hunter test, the 89 actually fared incredibly well against the hunters. Its high accuracy means that this is an excellent option for fighting hunters no matter their movement speed. And in the end, again, just like with the tank, as long as you can kind of lock down the component you're aiming for, the 89 itself serves perfectly at medium to even slightly long-range distances against these enemies. Damage drop-off is a thing to consider though, so it is always better to engage enemies at a bit of a closer distance with these LMGs. But you can see that just being able to lock down that hunter even while he was running towards me, I was able to kind of cluster my shots together very nicely and deal with them incredibly quickly. Lastly here for the harvester, again, as I had said with the 59, it takes actually a couple bullets in order to take down the ticks that they drop, which sometimes is a little bit longer than you have time for in the middle of combat. So in the end, I would say that the 59 is actually a better option for dealing with the harvesters, but the 89 is not a bad option in any this way simply due to the fact that the high rate of fire and the high magazine count means that these weapons are designed for these large enemies. Lastly, for a test that I think was really interesting actually in the end for the information that I've gained out of it, is how much damage each individual bullet is doing. So we'll be able to see here that 59 does 7% damage to an individual component. And then in comparison, the alternative battle rifle variation would be the AI-76, which does 6% damage in comparison. Now for the 89 and the AG5, again, it was really interesting. So the AG5, or the 89 actually, the 89 does 5% damage, so even less damage than the AI-76 itself. And the AG5 wound up only doing 4% damage. Now, the thing to make note of is that this character is not spec'd out into automatic damage, so the more skill points you have in the automatic damage perk, the more damage you will do. So I think from this testing, we can say that there is a clear winner between the two LMGs. With a better rate of fire, higher damage output, and more reliable mag count by 50 bullets, with the only deficit being slightly reduced accuracy, the KVM-59 is the best light machine gun in Generation 0. And I think this might be the best full automatic weapon in the game. While the 89 is much better suited for stealth options and the utility of accuracy, being more utilitarian can have its own niche in your loadout. Let me know which LMG you prefer down in the comments below. But there you have it. A ton of work went into figuring this out. So if you'd like, give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't, maybe consider subscribing for more of the best Generation 0 content. But for now, I've been Tenebris, you've been awesome, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.